Shane, we have a hammer from Parocco. It's a super flex 12 team PPR tight end premium start 11. Allen T. Law at quarterback. At running back, Roshan, James Cook, Mostert. At wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, Godwin, Cup, Christian Kirk, Wilson, Myers, and Dobbs. Trade Jonathan Taylor and Drake London for the 107, 201, 202, and 203. What do you think, man?
So start 11, all those pieces for two. That's how many? That's at 4 pieces. 4 pieces for 2. It seems like you just go, yeah, give me the 4 pieces over 2 and start 11. But then I'm looking at his roster, and his roster is filled with a bunch of meh. Like just this tapioca warm, not hot, not cold. Just we're fine. We'll finish in 5th to 7th place and get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs as long as everything goes right. Maybe the second round. So no, I'm not going to make this trade. I'm going to see what else I can do. I'd rather trade London and Taylor for 1 piece. I mean, again, he's got 38 pieces already that I don't want to add more of them. You know what I mean? The 201, 202, 203, chances are they're all going to fall in that range at best hope of Godwin, Cup, Kirk. Myers.
Yeah, I mean, like let's just cancel out Drake London in the 107. I'm not going to sell Jonathan Taylor for 3 seconds. Like there's no point. So I'd like to have the other league mate. I'd like to have him or her put in a player instead of that 201, 2 and 3, or we get rid of something from my side too. So, all right, sounds good. Appreciate that hammer. Let's move on, Shane. So Joel, thank you for your hammer. It is a 12-team Superflex start 9. He says, hey, fellas, I got Mahomes, Rashad White, Spears, CD London, Shaheed Dotson, QJ, Pat Fryermuth, Michael Mayer. As far as picks, the 101, 105, 106, and 107. Loss on direction for this team. What do you think? Wide open, man. What are you doing with this team?
Well, to start 9, you've got CD, Mahomes.
Let's address that, though, right? Mahomes is the only named quarterback in a super flex.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that his other quarterbacks are absolutely atrocious. So 101, you go Caleb, Mahomes. You've got the 105, 6, 7. So you're looking at being able to add Caleb Williams and probably Malik Neighbors. I don't know. By the time the draft rolls around, that might have changed. I'm okay with that. And then Spears and Rashad White are fine as running backs. Shaheed, Dotson, QJ. I mean, whatever. They are basically whatever. The definition of whatever. Yeah. I'll trade QJ for whatever. Dotson for whatever. Pat Fryermuth for whatever, and run with Mayer. It's start 9, so you don't really need to pick a hard direction. Like, you know what I mean? You're already skewing young. Just add a couple of receivers and obviously quarterback to this, and then you can compete. It doesn't. I'm never really in pro rebuild in a start 9.
Yeah, and I was thinking along that same lens, the 105, 6, and 7. Can you trade the 105 and 6 for the 102, or the 1 and 5, and 7 for the 102? He's light. He's light because even what he named, like there's some cans named. So I don't know if he has the ability to do that. So Caleb at 101, and then flexible with those 3. You don't necessarily need to plan on drafting all of them. That's for sure. But you got 3 nice picks there. You figured that could be what? The QB 3, if you wanted to go that route, Bowers, Adunze, kind of that range.
Yeah, I mean, or if you could trade the 105 and the something and move up to 104 and lock in Neighbors. I like doing that.
I like that. Yeah. And you could cute. I was looking for one of these cans to be able to do that, to be able to tack on. Maybe he has some seconds and stuff too, but hopefully we gave you some ideas for directions, Joel. You're in good shape. Stay flexible. It's only February 18th. Keep that in mind when you're thinking about sending picks away and stuff. Yes, stay bendy. Okay, let's go to Jordan here. Shane, he's got and thank you for the hammer. He's got a 14-team start 10 Superflex, half PPR. It's 1.5 for tight ends. Allen, Watson, Bryce at quarterback. Achane, Warren, and Cans at running back. Flowers, Ridley, Devontae Smith, and Hollywood. And then at tight end, Ingram, Ferguson, and Chiggy. Picks are just my own. 113, etc. First off, when I saw this, is that not kind of like a little humble brag, like a
Yeah, like
little passive? It's just my own, the 113 and
I'm not
everything
really
beyond
sure.
that.
I wonder if he traded any players after the season because I'm not especially sure how this team
Made it to
was
the ship.
able to fucking get to the championship. Watson wasn't good all year. A chain had some heaters and Allen had some heaters, but start 10. I don't see 10 starters on the roster, but shit, yeah, apparently he did.
It's 14 team super flex. I always, well, for almost every format, I go to the quarterback first. But in this case, Allen, Watson, and Bryce isn't horrible for a 14 team super flex.
I mean,
Running
last year,
backs,
Bryce and Allen weren't particularly, not Allen, excuse me, Bryce and Watson weren't particularly useful in Superflex. I mean, I don't know the scoring, but there's multiple games where Bryce Young gave you less than 10 points, or in some of the leagues I'm in, negative points, good times.
this team needs pieces. It really does. I mean, even though you want to have the Devontae Smiths of the world, it needs to extract some value somehow, even if it's like a small tier down. I'm not worried about the running back room or quarterback. I'm just thinking, right? Don't you think, Shane? It's a start 10, 14 team. He doesn't list a bunch of stuff here, and he doesn't have tons of flexible stuff. I'm putting Flowers on the block, Devontae Smith, Achan, obviously.
Dude, I'm looking to see if I can move Josh Allen, and A-Chan's probably not going to be enough. I'm not going to get enough back to do what I want to do, like a high-end asset and split them. Although I want to see if Superflex quarterbacks are actually getting traded. 12 Pat Mahomes trades in the year, I think. But anyway, I think I'd be moving off Allen. A chain, if I can get like 104, add something to it, sure. Because I just don't believe this team finished in second place. I need to see. I hope that Jordan can share the standings with us. I got to
Yeah,
know how that's happened. I have no
it'd
idea how that
be. Yeah, it's always nice to have as much context as possible. But would you sell Allen for Burrow and 2 firsts?
Yes.
We'll say it's like, yeah, regardless of where the firsts are. I mean,
Yeah,
as long
meet
as
over.
they're not both 26. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'd smash that. I'd smash
So
that.
don't
Again,
tear down too
I'm
far,
I'm
but
confounded, perplexed, dumbfounded by how this team finished in second. There's no that I just don't know how it did it with the players that he named.
yeah, I don't know.
I want to
I don't
see
know,
it. I need a
ran through.
screenshot. I need it.
Yeah, especially with the humble brag and everything. No, I appreciate that hammer, Jordan. Let's go to Diggs. Thank you for yours. It is a 12-team Superflex start 10 PPR, no tight end premium. He said first time asking. Well, thank you for asking. Thank you for the hammer. Cans at quarterback and running back. uh, let's see. Puka, Addison, Rice, JSN, Dotson at wide receiver, Laporta at tight ends, 102, 3, 5, and then has the 212, two future seconds, or I'm sorry, two future firsts and seconds. He said he moved off of the 101 and 208 for 105, Addison, and Cook. Okay, which Cook is that? He didn't name a Cook.
I'm gonna
I
guess
guess
it's
there's
James because
James Cook.
Since Dalvin's toast and Brandon is
That's
plural.
it, right?
Yeah,
That's the only
yeah.
two Cooks. Yeah, yeah, nice. I probably didn't need to ask that. It says very good chance I get Daniels and May at 3 and 5. The 104 owner is stacked at QB and needs wide receiver bad. Says thinking of moving from the 102 to 104 to expand my team's assets while still getting a hammer in neighbors. Thoughts about the trade potential and roster construction?
Can you
Okay.
go back to that first? It's
Yeah,
12
12
teams
team
start 10?
superflex. Yeah.
Dude, first of all, I already hate the trade that you made. Giving up the 101 for the 105 Addison and Cook. That I hate it. I absolutely hate that trade. If that trade was a person, I would punch them in their face and kick them in their balls. I don't like that trade even a little bit.
That a little
That
bit.
said, not even a little bit. That said, you already made the trade. So let's go back to his other trade. He wants to trade the
Yeah, thinking of
102.
moving back from the 102 to the 104. What would you require? Let's say, yeah, we'd like to recoup a little bit of value there. What are you going to require to move back?
I mean, the problem is he set the
His
standard
own.
already that you can come in and just pilfer me. So basically, you're going to get offers like fucking Jerry Judy and Josh Jacobs in the 108 for the 102. So no, I don't like it. He's got the 102, the 103, the 105. I'd rather hold on to these picks unless someone's giving me a first to move back like 2 spots.
Yeah, if I
first.
if I can give my 102 and 25 second for the 104 and a 25 first, I think I'm doing that. You doing that? Because he has the 235. I'd be down to do that personally because he lists that there's a lot of cans.
Mhm.
And yeah, obviously needs quarterbacks at a super flex. So I'd be good with that. I'd be good with that.
It's fine if I can get that. Like I said, I'm willing to slide down some spots. 102 to he's already got the 105. So I guess we're looking at 10. What was the trade? The 105?
He was going to be trading the 102, trying to move back to the 104.
Yeah, if they want to throw in a 25 first, sure, all day.
Yeah.
And like Clay said, I'll throw in a second to make it happen.
Yeah, that team needs 1 or 2 more 25 firsts. This it's not going to be this year. But hey, that's fine. Okay, we got 2 hammers, Shane, from Tank Bigsby. Tank Bigsby's in the house. And yeah, I mean, he could probably afford to get us more than 2, but at least it covers the amount of hosts
Rookie
on the
contract
this time.
Rookie contract.
True. Matt Ryan has no excuse from the other night. This is a 12-team Superflex, start 10, no tight end, premium half PPR. Tanked all last startup season just to end up with the 24, 103, and 107. Traded both for CD, which now feels premature as I could have shored up QB. He says his team is Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, JJ, CD, DJ Moore, T, Pickens, Dio John, Christian Watson. At running back, Brees and Swift, tight end, Andrews. Still have a 25 first, 26, and 7 seconds over those years. Any suggestions? 12-team Superflex, start 10, Shane, half PPR.
What can you trade?
What do you think about that first trade? Traded the 103 and 107 for CD.
I mean, I wouldn't physically assault it like I would the last trade if it was a human being, but I also probably wouldn't speak to it. You know what I mean? Like it would be like, "Hey, what's up, Shane?" And I would just ignore it and be like, "Go over there." Bad trade. So I don't like this trade either. I feel like I'm being Captain Curmudgeon today, and I really don't want to be, but I don't like this. And I think he already knows that. He felt premature. Yes.
Yeah.
He could have. That's a trade you could make literally. If you want CD Lamb for that, you probably could have made that nearly at any time. Let those picks appreciate in value before you do anything. And do you need a quarterback with Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson? You're okay. I mean, that's fine. I'd be okay going into a season with that. I'd prefer to be at least one of my quarterbacks a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
Your wide receiver room really looks nice with the JJ and CD and even DJ Moore. I mean,
yeah, he's got a nice room.
Yeah.
DJ Moore, can you capitalize on that value a little bit? You know, I love DJ Moore and will always love DJ Moore, but
yeah, I'd be looking to capitalize on DJ Moore, T. If I could find some DD members in the league, I would just try to sell them Pickens because there's a chance they pretty much like them. His running backs, he's got Brees, Swift. Who is C-Watt?
Christian Watson.
Never mind. So his running backs, we've talked about this before. Can I move down from Brees to a chain and pick up extra capital too? And not a second. You have enough seconds. Can I get a chain and a first for one of my what guess looks to be a late second and Brees?
Yeah, I would I dangle the popular assets. I wouldn't necessarily move off of Brees. This team could get lucky and back into the playoffs.
He's got. I mean, look, his wide receiver room and Brees Hall, that's a really solid 4 players. Really, really solid 4 that could carry to some wins. His tight end looks pretty good. So he could definitely win. It's just I'd like to see what I can do. I can also win with a chain, giving me the same production that Brees Hall does when he actually plays football.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Good call. All right. Hopefully that helped. We will move on to the next. We have 140 eyeballs in here. Thanks so much for coming. Yeah. Happy, what is it? Saturday or is it Sunday?
Sunday. Happy President's Day for everyone that observes.
All right. Potsky, thank you for the hammer. It is a 12-team Superflex, start 10. Quarterbacks are Allen and Goff. Running backs, CMC, Ken Walker, Henry, and Eckler. Wide receivers, JJ Chase, Tyreek, DJ Moore, Hopkins, and then tight end Kelsey. He has the 202, all 25 and 26 picks. And he says, I'd like to try to replace Kelsey for a win now tight end. Should I just say F it and go for a title? I feel like Kelsey may be the weak spot next year. I'm not, I mean, Kelsey is a win now tight end.
Yeah.
Do you still think he's going to join the Swifties? Didn't you think he was going to be a backup dancer? Is that where your head's still at?
Definitely thought he was going to be a backup dancer. I could have sworn that it came out that he said he wasn't going to be a backup dancer for Taylor Swift next year. But yeah, I'm perplexed by this because Kelsey, perplexed is the word of the day on my calendar. Kelsey is a win now tight end. You know who?
Yeah,
he's the top 3-4 tight end. I mean, Brock Bowers is ranked ahead of him. Brock Bowers is like tight end 2. Sam Laporta, like, sure. Can I trade Kelsey for Sam Laporta? No, that's not going to happen. If someone would let me do it to them, I would do it to them. But I don't know that Kelsey's particularly a weak spot on your lineup. I mean, for what he is at the tight end position, that's fine. If you're looking for additional assets, could you move off Kelsey to Kittle and get something and get a little younger at the position as well?
Yeah.
And obviously you'll have probably more donut weeks, but you'll have some spike weeks in there with Kittle as well.
Yeah. Or, I mean, Evan Ingram was what? Tight end 2? Move from Kelsey to Evan Ingram. It's still like a bigger name. Things like that. I could see that if you do want to move off of Kelsey, but I don't know. It's definitely a contending team. It's got a lot of fingers crossed because Henry and Eckler and all. I'd like to have a better second QB, but nobody wants Goff.
Right. He's got JJ Chase and Tyreek. DJ Moore is your legitimate wide receiver 4 is DJ Moore, who's a wide receiver 2 on most people's teams, and CMC just for funsies. Yeah, like, dude, I'm not worried about it. I'd like to move off of Henry and Eckler if I could, but obviously it's the offseason. They're old, so you're going to have trouble doing that. I'm fine with Goff because you can't really use him to tier up.
Yeah.
And looking at the other assets, you don't really have any other assets to move up anyway. I'm not touching those wide receivers.
Yeah, I want to kind of bolster the age of this roster a bit by getting another 25 first, though. So what can I do with that 202 and somehow work my way back to getting another 25 first? It's going to age. It's going to age grossly here in a second for your running backs anyway. Okay, let's keep moving here. Thank you, Mr. Potsky. Maybe Mrs. Potsky. Never know, right? Okay, let's go to John's here. Thank you for the hammer. It is a 12-team super flex PPR, 1.5 for running backs, 2 for tight ends. It's a 0.1 point per carry, so every rush attempt is 0.1. Start 10. He said he tanked to the 101. He's got Lamar, Watson, Rodgers at quarterback, Achan, Warren, Cans, JJ, Kirk, Mingo, Burks. So JJ, Kirk, Cans, Njoku, and Juwan Johnson at tight end. He has the 101, 105, 107, 9. And then he's got, looks like 5 other seconds and 424 first. He says, what do I do with all these picks? Here's a key part. Trading is difficult in this league. Been close to getting a deal done for the 103, but doesn't want to move it right now. He's very confident that the QB3 will be at 105. So what are you doing with this team, man? Again, essentially tiered PPR, mini point per carry.
So, I mean, obviously he needs – no, I took it off. I mean, obviously he needs wide receivers, right? It feels like we need a second quarterback if we could tier up. I mean, but you've got the 101. So, like, everything you want to do, you've got the 101. All right, do I want to go
Are you just putting Marv on? You just putting Marv in this team, just driving him off the lot?
Probably, because I'm fine.
Quarterback room. Yeah,
I'm fine rotating Watson and Rodgers next year. But even if I'm not, then I add Caleb. And then what can I get for the 105, 7, 9? I'm going to be able to add a wide receiver to that, at least a couple wide receivers. Scott and I did the did a rookie mock draft last night. I think we got through one round, and I'll say there's definitely receivers to be had from that 109 through 204 range.
That's
where
why
you
I
could
was gonna say move the 109 for a 25 first. Go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah. Honestly,
Oh,
I
is
think
that what he meant for 25 first? He's already got some of those, but yeah, go ahead, Shane. Sorry.
yeah, I would probably I'd move the 109. I think where we came to was about the 109, 108 is where we felt like, all right, this is a line of demarcation where I'm ready to move these picks out to next year.
You
That's
said trading is difficult. I have to keep that in mind.
It doesn't
Yeah,
seem to be too difficult. He has one,
you
two,
got a lot of
three,
picks.
four first round draft picks and 5 second rounders. It's not difficult for him. I mean, maybe it's difficult because he's asking for picks and he already took everyone's.
Yeah, I wonder if he might be able to back his way into contending, even if you were to spend those like early seconds and stuff on
Right.
cheap old people. You look at like the Mike Evans, D Hop, what Keenan Allen, you know the
Hmm.
list.
Yeah.
I mean, he could buy some points cheaply just using twos. So yeah. All right. Hopefully that helped you out, man. And find ways to make trading more easier to do. Might require a refresh on a couple managers, right? Okay. Let's move on to the next one here. This would crack me up so much. His name is Jaden Caniels. Thank you for your hammer. It is a 12-team superflex tiered PPR. This is a 0.2 point per carry, 1.5 for tight ends, 6 point per pass TD, start 10. Mahomes, Bryce, and then at running back, Cans, London, Hollywood, and Judy at wide receiver, and then Fant at tight end. 101, 105, 106, 107. And he's got the 201, a couple other late seconds, and then he has 325 first. And here's a trade. He was offered Jefferson for the
Yes.
105, 107, and the winner's projected late 25 first.
I go back
So
to
he
the
has to give the 105, 107, and yeah, a late 25 first.
and it's start 10. Yeah, dude. I don't care because then you still not that I don't care, but then you still have the 101, you have the 106, the 201, 210, 212, 307, and 225 firsts. Yeah, I'm smashing this deal. I'm absolutely pulling it out my pants and just slamming it on the table like, take it, dude. Not
I'm
even a
I'm
thought.
not. I'm not because I feel like that's paying full freight and that
Mhm.
you're thinking that there's zero worry about anything and that person's thinking the same thing. I think the team is too thin to be throwing three firsts, even though when you get Jefferson on your team, you don't exactly feel sad. I am not allocating that many picks to one player. I am more than happy to wait a little bit. You have a stranglehold on the 105, 6, 7, got the 101. I'm gonna put Marv on this team, and then yeah, we'll see what happens with the rest. It's so funny, Shane. Scott and I were talking on the last Hammer stream how it's like, oh, Shane would take this team, and there would be
I
zero
Here's the
first
thing.
with it.
Yeah, I'm fucking look, like I said, you make this deal. You've got JJ and whoever's quarterback, Mahomes, Bryce. You go Caleb or Marvin Harrison, either one. You're getting probably a top 6 player at their position. Marvin Harrison's already coming in at that. Caleb's top 8. Um,
Oh, I was
it's
going
start
back to the
10.
wrong question. I would probably go Caleb. Sorry.
Yeah, and then we still got London, and we still have 2 more first round picks this year and 2 more next year. At some point, you have to start investing in your team.
What's the crowd saying? Are you giving that for Jefferson right now? The 105, 7 and a late 25 first. I'd be curious to see what they say. Okay, Mr. Jaden Caniels. Hopefully shit. That was one. And then here we go. Yeah. He says, I like the trade in a vacuum, but think my team's too thin. Also, if I stay put with the picks, would you prefer taking Marv at 101 and whatever QB falls to 5? Said the 103 is locked on Neighbors.
Now, if we know 2 quarterbacks are going in the top, excuse me, 2 wide receivers are going in the top 2,
3.
and I'm gonna top 3, excuse me, and then I have 5. Yeah, I'm fine with doing that. So I'll take whatever quarterback falls there. And then we
Yeah,
take
in
Phillip.
in that case, if 103 is locked into Neighbors, then I would maybe take my Marvin Harrison and just take the QB3. Yeah, that's good. Locked into neighbors, and I cut it out because there was too many characters, but he included regardless of landing spot. Looks like this guy is, yeah, want some neighbors. Maybe went to LSU. Fly-in burrito. Oh, fly-in burrito bro. Thank you for your hammer. It is a 12-team super flex, half PPR, no tight end premium, start 9. Quarterback Lamar, Goff, Tua. Lamb, Puka, Alave at wide receiver, and Joku and Fryermuth at tight end. Running backs, booty cans. No 2024 capital. 2025 have 1 first, 3 seconds. Is it time to buy a running back or roll out the cans in 24? So good.
So even in a start,
start 9.
Yeah, in a start 9, this isn't an overwhelming lineup. You know what I mean? In start 9, I'm assuming multiple people have a lineup that is just as good as this. Obviously, Lamb and Puka is very nice. I love the Lave, but you have one quarterback that's a needle mover, and then Njoku who has spike weeks. But this isn't an absolutely smash. But either way, you have a lot of time between now and the regular season before you really want to buy a running back. I'm not going to spend the first or a second on a running back right now. Preface that, rephrase that. If it's Gibbs, if it's Brees, if it's A Chain, sure. Yeah, CMC probably as well. But there's not many I would do it for. If you can get one of those 4 guys and give up a first, sure, do it. But otherwise, I'm just trying to add guys like Mixon, Kamara, the same old guys I was trying to add last year. You know, that's what we said before last year, is just add a bunch of these old people. And except for Dalvin Cook, it worked out pretty well. Everyone else, and Henry obviously had a rough season, but for the most part, I'm just going to keep running those dudes back until they break down.
Yeah, I like the play doing that. Going for the cheap ones when the time comes to buy a running back. And I guess if you're buying an RB, this is cheap time of year.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not this is another kind of thin team a bit. So yeah. Try to get them cheap, but don't combine 2 or 3 assets to get one running back. Okay. I feel like there's some tricky ones today. There are a lot of like question mark ones. I wish we could spend 10 minutes on each of the questions, right? Because there's unlimited amount of scenarios with different contexts. Okay, let's go to this will be good. So Mike Hawk got us 2 hammers. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it, Cock.
Mike Hawk, 12-team Superflex, start 10, full rebuild. Have the 101, and I'm hoping to trade down, stay within the top 5, and accumulate more assets. Have you guys noticed that there is very little demand for these types of trades at the moment? Do you expect the demand to increase over time? He said KTC says the 101 for 105 should net you a mid-first plus, but I'm not seeing anything close to that on the market. Cheers. Yeah, shocker, man. The KTC-ification of this game.
Well, it's not just that. It's that the class gives me 3 quarterbacks and 2 wide receivers out of the top 5 that I'm fine. If I need a wide receiver, I'm fine with either 2. And if I need a quarterback, sure, I'll take either 3. Do I have preference? Yeah, but not enough to throw a 25 first on top of it to get to it. Like, I've gotten offers where people are trying to, see if I want to move up from the 104 to the 102. And very specific instances, does that make sense to me to do? Most of the time, no, I don't care because of these quarterbacks. And it's exactly right. That this is kind of what I've seen out in leagues too, is that most people are just like, if I need a quarterback, I'm going to get one of the 3. There's literally no reason for me to add an additional first round pick to do this. And if it looks like the wide receivers might break that way as well, it's like, well, I don't care if I get Neighbors or Marvin Harrison, because quite frankly, it's 1A and 1B as opposed to a giant gap.
Yeah, and he mentioned, have you guys noticed there's very little demand for these types? Yes. Mm-hmm. I've noticed that as well, for sure. And it makes sense. A common response is, well, I want to see landing spots, or, there's still a lot of question marks on assets that people love. The usual crap.
Yeah.
Which is one way of saying I'm not super active or I'm trying to make it seem like I'm going to require so much. Okay. So did we give him enough there? Yeah.
Yeah,
Those two
and
hammers? I think so.
he said, "Do we think it's going to accumulate, or do we think it's going to appreciate between now and the draft?" Some, but I don't think it's going to be the windfall that a lot of us were hoping for if they had the 101. Because in my mind, I'm like, "Oh, I got the 101. I can move down to 104, still get the guy I want, and get another pick." And everyone's like, "Nah."
Would you move in this case 12 team superflex? Would you move the 101 for 103 at a 25 first late
101 for the 103 and a
103
25
and a
first.
late 25 first?
Yeah,
Would you do that in the OG league?
yeah, maybe. No, well, that's a 14 team. That's different.
14
Not that.
team? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want a
Well,
14 teamer. That's
just
different.
let me know.
That's the 202. That's not a
I
real
think I
first.
I think I already sent you I think I already sent you that
Yeah,
103 and my 25 first for
and
your
yeah,
101.
I'm talking from the prism of a 12 team, uh,
I know,
and
I got you.
probably not from a team that I think is going to do well.
I was dangling a potential live hammer stream trade. Okay, let's go to two hammers from Punk Lumberjack. Thank you very much. 12 team superflex PPR, no tight end premium, start 10. Won the ship, time to rebuild. So blow it up. Cousins, Carr, Flacco, Minshew. Okay, how do we win the ship? Flacco. Nice. Cousins, Carr, Flacco, Minshew, CMC, ETN, Charbonnet, Hubbard, and Cans at running back. Adams, Pittman, Allen, Cooper, Christian Kirk, and Dobbs at wide receiver. Kelsey, Andrews at tight end. He has the 203 and all of the 25 picks. Do I even care about this year's draft, or should I look for younger vets / trade for 25 picks?
I
Okay,
mean,
what are you doing with this team?
I don't think many people on his roster are going to get. Well, I mean, you could get, like we just talked about, you could probably get a first round pick for CMC. Not probably, you can get a first round pick for CMC if you wanted to. Same with ETN, and just I'm not a what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not a draft savant, but I listen to enough podcasts and read enough and listen to people like Ray GQ. Then I know the 25 class isn't going to be as deep as this class. I'd rather get picks in this class if I could, but also not just because of that, because of the immediacy of it. I don't like putting off for another year. There's a few leagues I have 25 picks and I hate every part of it.
I'm not necessarily rebuilding this team right now. I mean, I could see a situation when you're contending again, for sure. I'm not necessarily rebuilding this and shipping everything off right now. Sure, I'll dangle all those pieces, but yeah, man, I don't know. Okay, I see a little. I see a private chat thing from Shane. Yeah, let's address the crowd. 200 eyeballs in here. Thank you so much joining on a random Sunday. Hit that like. 4 days no sleep, dude. This is bad. Hit that like if you'd be so kind. Easiest way to help out the channel. And thank you for all these hammers that came in. Scott and I the other day were on the stream and we're like, hey, if we get enough hammers that are sent in, we'll do these pop-up streams. So yeah, keep them coming. We really appreciate it too. Supports the channel, helps me buy editing hours. It is buymeacoffee.com /trades-in-5.
I just shared the link.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, just keep it tight. Keep it tight, please. All right, let's go to, and to answer your question, there's technically uno mas. All right.
Okay.
Steven.
Then it's finito.
Then it's finito.
Yes.
Yeah. So Steven has a hammer for us. It is thank you very much. 12 team PPR Superflex. It is 2.0 for tight ends. Start 10. Minshew, Roshan, Elijah Mitchell, AJ Brown, Tank Dell, JSN, Addison, Ferguson. 103, 105, 6, 7. Also has the 109, 10, 12. And he's got a second and 25 picks. How do I handle all these picks? And then the second one was also have an offer for JSN plus the 105 for T-Law and Monty.
No, I'm not giving up that much for Teal, his average ass. I might give up the 105, but I'm not even inclined to do that. When you give me his draft picks again, you've got
Yeah,
the
3
103
and
and the
then
105.
5 through 7.
Yeah, no,
And
I'm good.
then yeah.
Dude, you just go quarterback at 103, 105. You need two of them. So if Neighbors is there, great. If not, take the other quarterback that falls. Your team's awful because you started off with Minshew, Roshan, Elijah Mitchell, which is a very interesting combo. I don't know that I've ever seen anyone lead off anything like a combo like that. I would have just been like cans, period. And then AJB, Tank, JSN, and Addison. I'm making, like I said, 103. I'm making 105. I'm probably making 106. I'm probably making 107. Can I use 109 and 110? Can I trade the 110 back for, say, 201 in a future second, something like that? Can I trade the 109 for a future first? That's probably what I would look to do. I'd look to make the early picks and look to move the later picks if I can, if at all possible.
Yeah, okay. All right. I was looking at text from our third host. He apologized he can't make it today. He was recording tons of content. When I went into StreamYard to set up this one, I saw it was live. He was in there recording something for DD. Then I came back in, he was still live. So he put in some time. So I had set a line that this was supposed to be the cutoff point, was after Steven. We're gonna call it a day. We're gonna try to do these pop-up streams, have them be 30-ish minutes and knock out some hammers. The first ones to be answered on the live stream on Tuesday will be, let's see, Nick, Keegan, and Jay Lau. And then I'm sure we had a couple others come in during the stream. But thank you for the support. We really appreciate that. Shane, any parting words? We ran through this.
I appreciate y'all. Hope you have a great, like I said, President's Day if you celebrate.
Yes, exactly. All right. Have a good rest of the weekend, everybody. We'll see you Tuesday night. Adios.